Hello, my name is Chad Paulk, and today I will be discussing with you the effects of added zinc in diets with ractopamine hydrochloride on growth performance and carcass characteristics of finishing pigs. I would like to start off by thanking Elanco Animal Health and Michigan State University for their collaborative efforts. Previous research has demonstrated that added zinc to diets containing ractopamine hydrochloride has been shown to improve finishing pig performance. However, there is variability within this response. There have been multiple sources tested to determine the effects of added zinc in ractopamine diets. These two sources consist of organic or zinc amino acid complexes, and the two sources used are either Zinc or Bioplex, or an inorganic zinc source, which would consist of zinc sulfate or zinc oxide. For the previous research conducted, there's been a number of studies since 2011. The basal zinc levels used in the diet, or the zinc provided by the trace mineral premix, range from 0 to 110 parts per million, and then added zinc levels tested range from 25 to 500 parts per million added zinc. All diets did contain ractopamine hydrochloride ranging from 2.5 to 10 parts per million. For average daily gain, on the x-axis is average daily gain in kilograms per day, and on the y-axis is the studies or the experiments conducted. The blue bars represent no added zinc in ractopamine diets. The red bars represent zinc added from the zinc amino acid complex, and the green bars represent added zinc from the inorganic zinc source. So once again, all diets did contain ractopamine. There were two studies that concluded improvements in average daily gain, or tendency for improvement in average daily gain, when zinc was added to ractopamine diets compared to pigs fed ractopamine diets with no added zinc. Two experiments also observed that added zinc from zinc, or your zinc amino acid complex, improved average daily gain compared to added zinc from an inorganic zinc source. For gain to feed, 3 studies observed improvements in pigs fed added zinc in ractopamine diets compared to those fed the ractopamine diets without added zinc. Also, 1 study observed improvements in gain to feed when added zinc was fed from zinc versus inorganic zinc. Therefore, the objective of this experiment was to determine the effects of added zinc from either zinc oxide or zinc, which is the zinc amino acid complex, on growth performance and carcass characteristics of finishing pigs fed ractopamine containing diets. .320 finishing pigs that were PIC 327 by 1050 were used. There are 20 pens per treatment with 2 barrows or 2 gilts per pen. Pigs were initially 98 kilograms, and it was a 35-day study. Pens contained a single hole dry cell feeder and nipple water. This allowed ad libitum access to feed in water. For our dietary treatments, there was a control diet with 0.66% SID lysine. This was a basic corn soy diet. And then there was a control diet with 10 parts per million ractopamine, and this diet was formulated to 0.92% SID lysine. The ractopamine diet was then fed with 75 up to 225 parts per million added zinc from either zinc oxide or zinc. It is important to note that all diets contain 55 parts per million zinc from zinc sulfate provided by the mineral premix. For the diet composition, diets were a basic corn soy diet with synthetic amino acids added in the ractopamine diet, and all diets did have phytase to allow for 0.1% release of available phosphorus. Once again, it is important to note that the trace mineral premix provided 55 parts per million zinc from zinc sulfate. Diets were analyzed for ractopamine and zinc levels. Notice that the zinc levels were analyzed zinc concentrations were similar to that of the expected zinc concentrations, and also the ractopamine levels were as expected. Data was analyzed as a generalized randomized complete block design using the mixed procedure of SAS. PIM was the experimental unit, and dietary treatment was the fixed effect. Gender, group, and barn were included as random blocking factors, and the contrast statements consisted of a negative control versus a positive control, or the ractopamine diet, and then zinc level by source interactions. It's important to note there was no zinc level by source interactions for growth performance or carcass characteristics, so therefore I will only be discussing the zinc linear and quadratic polynomials and zinc oxide versus Avela zinc. Moving into the response criteria, as for average daily gain, on the x-axis are the treatments with the control versus ractopamine, and then added zinc from 75 to 225 parts per million, with the gray bars representing zinc oxide and the green bars representing added zinc from Avela zinc. As expected, pigs fed the ractopamine diets had increased average daily gain compared to those fed the control diets. There was no difference in average daily gain when added zinc was fed. For average daily feed intake, pigs fed the ractopamine diets had decreased average daily feed intake compared to those fed the control diets. Added zinc did not influence average daily feed intake for pigs fed added zinc. For gain to feed, as expected, ractopamine improved gain to feed. However, pigs fed added zinc did not differ in gain to feed. Also, zinc source did not affect gain to feed. Moving on to the carcass characteristics as a response criteria. As for hot carcass weight, pigs fed ractopamine had increased hot carcass weight. However, added zinc did not further improve hot carcass weight. For percent yield, there was no difference in percent yield when pigs were fed ractopamine compared to the control, and there was no difference in yield when pigs were fed added zinc. Pigs fed the ractopamine diet had reduced back fat thickness. However, pigs fed added zinc or zinc source did not differ in back fat thickness. For loin depth, pigs fed the ractopamine diet had increased loin depth. However, pigs fed added zinc or zinc source did not differ in loin depth. For percent lean, pigs fed the ractopamine diet had increased percent lean compared to those fed the control diet, and added zinc or zinc source did not differ in percent lean. Therefore, we can conclude that, as one would expect, feeding pigs ractopamine did increase average daily gain to feed, hot carcass weight, loin depth, and percent lean, and added zinc to the diet did not influence growth performance or carcass characteristics. In addition, there was no difference between added zinc source. Once again, I would like to thank Elanco Animal Health as well as Michigan State University for their collaborative efforts, and have a nice day. Thank you.